Hi everybody! Welcome to Materia D&D, where I still don't have a camera and it bugs me. Where we play D&D our way, and we are on session 155 after a banger of a session 154. If you haven't seen 154, highly recommend it. It did not go any way, shape, or form that the DM had sculpted. Yeah,
Yep.
turns out that I need to have battlefields that are miles long to prevent shenanigans from happening. So, no, but seriously, it was a banger. It was a fly by your seat kind of session, and it was really good. Um, so yeah, we pick up on session 155, where the menagerie have successfully made it to the evening. And that doesn't seem like such a huge accomplishment until you know about the things that happened previously. So the menagerie has been, in recent days, trekking west across the open plains, uh, where they have recently uh, unblasphemed and spiritually lifted a temple to Bawu of the Scale, a pangolin spirit that had a riverside city named after him of Panlin that was raised and sacked some times ago. There, they tracked down cultists, cannibals mostly, that were doing blood sacrifices to appease a seemingly different entity that had, without a better term, usurped Bawu as the individual, as a spirit of that temple, and thus the menagerie were able to stop the whole process, though many lives were lost. By lives being lost, yes, there was the cannibals that lost their lives, but also the civilians and citizens and common folk that were stolen and raided uh, on the Tristan Day over in West Green. So, but however, having successfully done everything and taken what survivors they could via the combination of word recall by Ben and teleportation back by Al, the Crass Menagerie decided it was worth double timing it and heading to their ultimate destination, which was a set of ruins where they knew that there were multiple people that they were responsible for escorting back safely. And these individuals are made up of the common theme group of the Heralds of Exploration, the College of Fascinations, and the Alabaster Museums. Uh, they trekked quickly throughout the day, even pushing themselves to the point where most of them got physically exhausted. But they did make it to a more classical style ruins. Uh, if you were to think like a Roman columns and pillars, uh, something that I always find interesting. I was listening to some D&D, and they asked me a question, and I said, "Yeah, no, like in our setting, at least, cement exists. Roman cement existed, so cement exists. So I think very classical. These columns are made of pillars and columns are made of cement, differently shaped, but very old and overgrown. And in this area that they found these ruins, it was unique because the colorscape went from the dried out, sun-baked yellows and browns of the open fields, open plains, to, well, more lush and more green as there was moisture in the air and there was the misting of a waterfall. And there you could see that it was lively here. Um, Guided here by some relics that were acquired from that temple in the city of Panlin. The first one sent the menagerie to a larger column of these ruins, and it had a pictograph which explained or depicted a chasm and an individual on the precipice, and that individual leaping into the precipice to take the leap. Um, and then the other uh, relic that they had guided them over to the west based on what this column had indicated. Excuse me, hiccups. Uh, there, when they head to the west, they found a much larger and in relatively good condition, air quotes, but intact temple, which was built, or set of ruins, likely a temple, which was built up to the point of where it's had like an infinity edge mirror or infinity edge pool with the local lake here, or pond maybe. It that seemingly was very difficult to tell where the construction stopped and the water started because it was built in such a way. The menagerie approached it. It was relatively well covered. It did have an intact ceiling and roof. It did have a descending area in the center that went down about 15 feet. And the most notable structures in here were two large humanoid statues, both like extending their arms out in the shape of an L. Uh, represent are very indicative or similar to the two relics that they got from the Panlin uh, statue, the temple over in Panlin, uh, and now they were down to just one of them. However, while the menagerie were there, they were resting, and then they decided to trying to figure out what this meant. And Al, on the back of Loon Loon, flew out over the lake to get a better look at their surroundings. And well, it turned out that there were individuals, a large number of them, at these ruins waiting for them. And dozens of arrows and dozens of magic bolts were let loose to the one target that was in the sky. Well, two targets technically, but one target in the sky. And Loon Loon poofed back into the Fruit Loop dimension, as we love to call it, as her hit points dropped to 0. And Al was knocked unconscious, splashing hard into the water, automatically failing their death saving throw. Then a booming voice came across, and I believe it went something like this. I am Harmus, champion of the fallen queen, in Sorcererlight, the heir of the crown of eyes, and you are trespassing on Pack lands. These ruins are ours, and like the fools we've captured before you, your scream shall echo through these halls and rubble. Harmus, uh, using his capabilities to boom his voice out, announced his presence and the presence of numerous pack members here, and they besieged and attempted to pin down the Crass Menagerie and the ruins. The Menagerie did some heroics to get to Allegretto's body and stabilize him, and then the Menagerie took the fight uh, to the pack members. However, it was not in the way that I would have envisioned it, and due to some clutch spellcasting and some clever use of game mechanics, Harmus was brought to the Menagerie thanks to an upcasted vortex warp and a portent, which made it so he couldn't save. And yeah, seemingly the beatdown began. Harmus did prove to be more resilient than I think was expected. However, I believe as they loot his body in the session, they will realize that he probably had more tricks up his sleeve, but some things that they did made it so that he couldn't necessarily use them. But anyways, they did manage to get Harmus. Karos locked him down by grappling him, slamming him up against the ceiling, throwing him down against the ground. And as Harmus was there on the ground, he did release his Hunger of Harmus, which made things interesting for a little bit. The Menagerie did see that he was seemingly more healthy than expected after Rock was able to dissolve the spell, but ultimately Harmus had his skull caved in by Karos's double crit, I believe it was.
Oh yeah.
One was a natural crit, one was a Nirvana crit with his baleful Nirvana flail. There, his body laid lifeless as it rolled over, pointing to the water. The Menagerie also noticed that they had another problem. Cielo was out there scouting and taking care of what he could. However, communication was difficult, and the water in this time was becoming blood red and boiling as the pack members, the the spell oriented ones, had shoved the numerous effigies that had bodies lashed to them into the water. Um, they were attempting to use the potential and the flesh from the 18 or so heralds of exploration and crew that they had captured and killed to bring in, uh, well, fiends from another plane. And that is when we had a divine intervention kick in, rolling a 12 on a needed 18, is it? 19 with
19 or
our
lower.
rules. Yeah, 19 or lower. So he would have nailed it without his little buff to where he can use, or the cleric can use their cleric level plus their wisdom modifier. He would have nailed it with just cleric level. So not just a materia thing. Um, but Ben beseeched his beacon, his deity, and the effigies were broken apart. The bodies that were sinking began to rise as celestial light glowed from below them and helped keep them aloft. And Ben saw the light of the beacon pierce the ever haze of the unformed maze. Hey, that rhymes. Ever haze of the unformed maze. I'm gonna have to remember that. Um, and re and collect and guide those 18 or so souls out of the maze back into the material plane, where individuals that were dead are now back. The menagerie, using the momentum of slaying a champion of the fallen queen and just the divine power that was set before them, uh, turned the tide, and these events broke the morale and the spirits of the numerous pack members that began to break rank, break file, and run. And Cielo did confirm while scouting that there were more than the members that the menagerie did not see, but they were also breaking and running out. Uh, with Harmus's body amongst the lakeside temple, the survivors brought back inside of the temple, the sounds of the waterfall still all around you, with indications of it still crashing somewhere below you, as water still manages to kind of spritz up and mist out of the imperfections in the groundwork. Night has come. Rock has set up not one, but two of his Gideon, whatever they're called, forgot the tower's full name, but two of his towers. Um, and we pick up with the menagerie, yeah, as dusk approaches. And they have survivors. And Al is alive.
Al is alive.
He is not Dimitri
For now,
Mountain.
in spite of the rumors.
The
No
night
matter
is
how
young.
we tried in Discord. Yeah, no matter how hard we tried in Discord to make Al dead, didn't happen.
Yet.
I knock a magical arrow back and point it out.
All right.
He has no
I
idea.
cast,
believe
I'm kidding.
I cast
we took
holy
some of
weapon
his-
on his bow.
no.
What if we
Well,
already looted some of his stuff? Do we have to give it back?
Well,
I mean, no, I'm not gonna force you to do anything.
Well, think about it. Cielo's already looted everybody's stuff, right?
right?
That's true.
I like go to pull out like a potion and it's just like full of sand or something like that. I was like, what the? You pulled the switcheroo on me.
He goes, ha ha, I got you.
Yeah.
And then where did that come from?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Cielo, if you replace my coins with marbles, I prefer marbles.
There you go.
Yeah, so,
Doubles
so
double as
Like
what's
ball
the
bearings for
word?
tripping people?
yes, exactly.
Yeah. Davis is just literally exhausted, but also just kind of like hanging out there.
Mm.
I guess eventually, because the last thing I remember doing was chasing off the people, kind of just yelling at them, and then once
Mhm.
they gave up, coming back and just being like. But then eventually, I would like get up and start talking to the people and reassuring them and making sure they're okay and whatnot.
So you say you're all the way from Whitlaw?
I mean, not originally,
You were.
but that's where we were hired. Yeah.
Yes. So, well, it's,
What?
it's nice to know that we had a escort coming from us, and
Yeah. What
suddenly,
exactly happened? I mean, we were supposed to come and try and get whoever out we could, but by the looks of it, we were almost too late.
uh, I believe you were late, short of something that I quite don't understand.
Which
But
thing? Because we do a lot of things that's for people to understand.
I yes, very, very fuzzy. But no, missives were sent. As far as we knew, we were to expect uh, a con- collect us by the end of the month, and
Okay.
that we were to wrap up what uh, excavations and research and detailing we were doing, start strapping things down and getting them ready for transport. But uh, we were not uh, we were not expecting to have the hostilities from the west spill over here. They had never, seemingly had ignored this area up until recently.
So how long ago did they attack? Was it just like this morning or something, or?
Can you tell us how long ago, how long we've been not amongst the living?
Wait, what? I don't know. What? What do you mean?
Uh, I, I remember having my throat slit, and I remember feeling blood pour out of my body. But here I am.
Hey Ben.
Yeah. As he's still laying, like, not like completely laying down, but just like on one knee with his head tilted forward and hand there, like completely, utterly exhausted.
Uh, what did you do exactly? What did the beacon do for them?
It's
She
probably best to ask her.
I don't know how
she
to do
br-
that.
she bring back from Maze.
Oh, what? I
We need talk. Bad things coming. And I kind of like just look at the two towers and kind of like which one is the one where you sleeping in as I try to make my way, feebly make my way to one of them.
oh, wow. Yeah, I guess we did, sir. What's your name?
Um, I am Stefan.
Hi, uh, Davis.
Uh,
Uh, Crass Menagerie. Working for the Heralds and various other people you know. I didn't even know that's what my colleague here did. A lot of things were going on. I didn't know what was happening with you all, but I didn't think that happened. Jeez.
it's well, sorry for my responses, but frankly, the
Believe me,
last
you don't
thing
have
I
to apologize for
remember.
anything at this point. I get it. Well, I don't get it, but like, no apologies necessary.
Very well. Uh, however, we were, as mentioned, in the process of gathering our research notes, making sure our supplies were collected. Uh, Last minute chances to wrap up whatever we could about recent and distant discoveries in these ruins and make our way. Well,
I have,
not make our way, but wait for you apparently to take us.
yeah, I have a. I hope this isn't a really rude question, but what day do you think it is?
Do I think it is? I would imagine that it is. And I have to look at the calendar real quick. Sorry.
I say it is actually the 28th of Everly.
Yeah, I was gonna say. You guys did stuff on.
It's the 25th of August.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome. For that, that was good. I believe it was the 26th, maybe 27th, 26th, 27th of Everly.
Davis pauses briefly, looks up, doing math very slowly in his head.
Mm.
Yeah, it's been an extra day or two that you've been gone, I guess, because it's the 28th today, and as you can see, it's almost the end of the 28th even.
Yes. Well, they they came in the night. No torches, nothing, and they swept through.
Yeah, that seems to be their mode. The way they do things is come in the night. We ran into people like them in West Green about a week or so ago.
Um, they they were so bold. Wait a week? Hmm. Okay, understood.
Um,
Ah,
Wait, so we will try and figure out a way to get you guys out of here without having to trek all the way back to West Green. We've got some, tricks up our sleeve that can get people places. But we'll have to discuss and figure out what we've got in our, capabilities. And it sounds like we may have spooked them off for a while, so we may have a little bit of time to set some of this up. But for now, we've got. You see the two towers we've got over there? I think one of those is for you guys to relax, recover. I'm sure it's been incredibly confusing, as it has been for me, maybe all of us. I don't know. But yeah, welcome back. I guess I don't know what you say in this instance. Sorry we were late, but here we are. Davis just, at this point, like he's just like at a complete loss for like, what's the proper thing to say here? I don't know.
uh, Rock will step up and say, "Hey, hi, yeah, I made those. I think I made enough room for everybody in the bigger tower.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Uh, um, if if you guys need help getting over there, I mean, a lot of us are tired, but
We'll help.
we'll help. Um, Also, uh,
Maybe not the red one. He's not very strong, and he's had a real hell of a day.
yeah, he was also on death's door. He
Oh,
points to Al. So, um, uh, but I feel it might be sort of important at some point. I know you need to get your rest, but we kind of need to know what you were doing here and if you had found something here,
yeah, good
because
point.
something has brought us here as well, not just to escort you, but something else that I don't completely understand pointed us in this direction as well. And if the bad guys were here as well, then maybe there's a reason. And um, he looks over to Karos. We killed their bad guy, their leader, or at least he said he was a leader. He said he was a champion. I don't know what he means by a champion. This is the second champion we've seen here like a week, but that's him. That's his brain right there. That's his.
There's
I
more
think that's
than
a tooth.
one.
Yeah, the guy on the big wolf.
Yeah, when we met you.
Oh,
Wait, no, now you were there, I think.
yeah, I got this horn from them. This thing.
Oh,
I
yeah.
hold the shofar up. This is theirs.
Actually, Stefan, real quick, one question. How much do you know about this place? Just real quick, and then I'll promise I'll let you go rest. Like, how well versed are you
Of
in, like,
the total oasis, we have about, I would say, 40% of the surface mapped and figured out.
and I'll
We haven't. Okay, go ahead.
I'll pull Rock. I'll be like, we would love to know if you know what "take the leap" might mean, because we found this thing that seems to indicate something about that. And then I guess Rock can like a minor illusion it or something potentially. It might be not a bad idea.
Let me pull up the names. Take the leap. It's actually something. 1 second. Come on. Where is her name? Where is?
It was in Draconic, if that means anything.
No, it actually does.
Okay.
Is.
Because this guy speaks like 8 languages or something, so he could read it easily.
Groa, Groa. He's calling out to someone. You'll see that the female perks up. Reddish complexion and hue to the skin. Simple, dark hair, hair that she put back up into a single ponytail. All these individuals should be wet, but due to the magic, they're not drenched to the bones either.
Nice.
And she walks over sluggishly, because everyone here is beat up and tired. A female Khemri, kind of in, your linen top with some sort of more rugged material made for her her leggings, very much giving you a kind of the classic Indiana Jones kind of herald look. Stefan, these individuals are escorts. Wanted to know if we've heard anything about taking a leap, and I know that this is something that you have been obsessing over. And even though this Groa individual is tired, you see that her eyes light up. She gets almost like the second wind, and she says, "You know about the leap?
Well,
You've heard about the leap?"
we know that we're supposed to take the leap. We don't know what it means. I don't think.
Okay. How do you know about it? Did you stumble it? Like, did you travel somewhere and you've heard about this term from another set of ruins, or did you find it in some sort of archive in one of the libraries? Oh.
Yeah, here. There's a pillar kind of in the field off to the, I think, to the west of here. Rock found it written in Draconic on there, and it had kind of like a picture of a guy on a cliff or something. Is it these cliffs? And then I kind of point up to like where the champion stood from.
It could be though. I will be honest. And so you see Stefan roll his eyes, and he'll just say, "She's tried jumping off of the cliffs already." And
Okay.
she just smiles. Hey, I
I mean, it makes
thought it was that
sense.
too,
Yeah,
but
totally. I get it.
but then she says it would have been too easy if that was that. Technically, if we're gonna get into the details, from what I remember, if you're talking about the big column, it's the big central column, right? The one that's a little bit larger and a little bit more detailed than all the other ones.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, it seems that there are multiple places around these ruins where some reference to taking a leap or uh, take the plunge is also another one that I've seen or translated. Um, there seems to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, I wish I had my notes. Um, uh, at the latest counting, I believe there were 11 variants of the same expression that could have been used. 11 variants of the similar expression that could apply to taking the leap or the plunge or yeah. So anywho, um, I haven't figured it out clearly. That's why we were still here. That's why I was still researching. That's why I was actually really, really bummed when I heard that you guys were coming to take us. Um, but hey, I guess I get to continue my research.
Well, we're not gonna stay
Kicking and
here very
screaming.
long.
Yeah, but well, I mean,
Well, and
or at
you
least
are
giving
now
me a little bit.
alive, so that's good.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at.
Okay, yeah.
I can come back here. Um,
Well,
but
maybe don't come back here. Anyway,
she
sorry.
looks at you as if you said something that just makes no sense. Just like,
The
uh, the fuck are you talking about? Of course I'm coming back here.
Davis is getting real Oklahoma sheriff vibes here.
maybe
Maybe it'd be
stick
best
around.
you didn't come around these parts no more.
Stick to the streets that you know and get the heck out of here. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's just like you could just say like does not compute would basically
Yeah.
be like does not. It's like of course I'm coming back here. This is my passion, jerk. Um, uh, but interestingly enough, um, well, we're actually okay. We're like the ledge, the edge temple. Both those and she looks behind her. Both those statues actually, essentially uh, eh, in the etchings of their fabrics, if you look very carefully at it, it's amazing how well the stone was worked. Clearly, whoever did it, gifted beyond anyone that is currently alive. But the phrases are etched in the seams of the, uh, the the clothing that the statues are wearing, and of course by clothing I mean chiseled out stone, but in the shape of clothing. Um, and they repeat themselves. So I was quite convinced that it had something to do with them, but I don't quite understand it. And I did hypothesize that, well, we hear a waterfall, we see the effects of the water, and um, maybe there's an underground waterfall, and maybe that's where we need to go. But we've attempted with what surveillance equipment we have, uh, and with what skills we have, and what explorers we've had to find entrances and ways to go under. However, um, we can't seem to find a floor underneath this temple or an entryway into the floor. Uh, so yeah, take the
Have
leap.
you checked under the water?
We've had people dive down. When they swim, uh, they report kind of um, losing sense of what is up and what is down, what is right, what is left, and unable to get their bearings. And eventually, uh, they all say the same thing. Panic kicks in, and then they instinctively swim out.
Huh.
I don't quite understand it. I but it, it it doesn't seem to it doesn't seem to line up or add up. But yeah, it was a very good observation that you made because yeah, it does. The water and the temple line up perfectly, and you meet, and we thought, okay, well, clearly the water must be going somewhere. We can hear it, so let us send a couple teams. Actually, well, don't see them here, unfortunately. Uh, yeah, he's not here. Well, unfortunately, some of the individuals that were set to be our guards while we were here for these months lost their lives in the initial conflict with the pack. That was not here, so I guess it makes sense that they're not here now. But we sent a couple of our initial mercenaries for hire that agreed to be our protection, and one of them happened to be a veteran on the seas, and he was comfortable and was assured us that he would be able to dive and see the underside of the structure. And he was the first to explain that he had never experienced anything quite like it. Um, he said it induces a sort of panic and fear as if his ship was sinking or something, and you were trying to swim out, survive. I didn't quite understand it or be able to relate, but he was a very brave and stubborn man. So I took it for his word. So,
Well,
but
I'm glad you're back.
thank you.
At least.
I'll lean over to Teal and be like, yeah, what do you say in this scenario? I don't.
I'm trying.
Yeah, no, that was good. That was good. That was good. It was really good. That's better than what I did, I think.
So, but if you have any other hints or clues, I mean, I understand that we need to leave soon, especially with the threat of the pack looming. But please, if you have any
really
other
that
hints,
because I thought we were spending time here, or did we already sleep? This is me asking out of character.
Oh, we
You
need
did
to
not
rest.
sleep.
Yeah, we need to rest
You
for
need
sure.
rest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're spending the night here still. I think over there, those
Yeah.
towers, and here. Just we're gonna be here for a little bit. If you have stuff you need to,
But
like,
you
look at
stay
still.
within this area here. Don't go venturing, I would say.
I wouldn't be able to
Well,
venture if I wanted. I'm
Okay.
very tired.
If you need to venture, I guess let me know.
Oh yeah, let this guy. Poof. Yeah.
Okay.
Or if you just need, if you have anything curious, like before we leave that you can't really reach or anything, I'm good in tight spaces.
Okay.
A little
Thank you.
tired, I guess, too, but
Unless the
okay.
thing you need to reach is like a high shelf.
I can jump. All right.
So, well, it, it's it's nice talking to everyone. Thank you for everything, and I believe I will take this opportunity to join Stefan and the rest of our team.
Yeah.
In that, that's very cool that you guys could do that.
Yeah, those guys.
Just looking at the tower. So,
Couldn't even begin to tell you how the hell they do that, but it is pretty cool. I will agree with you on that.
I will say, because history has worked very hard to um, hide the progression of the arcane arts and the different magics over the last centuries, or actually a few thousand years here, and rightfully so, due to the rampant escalation during the Black Wars. But besides that, um, there shouldn't be a fear of the magic, and I think that this place, this location, this area is definitely something that magic was used to construct and perhaps enchant. I believe that's the correct use of the term. Um, and perhaps that is ultimately why we are unable to swim where we need to go. If that is where we need to go, now we're just making assumptions, and
Yeah.
I honestly cannot. But but
It's certainly something that we're investigating too. I don't really want to leave until I find out what's under here and whatever that could mean. Well, I mean,
I did
maybe it's
have
just my curious nature, but
I did have one more question, and you can say I'm tired. I'd rather go sleep. But
I'm tired. I'd rather go sleep. And
okay.
she just cracks a big grin. And she's just like, "No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding."
Oh,
Oh.
okay. Does the name Bawu mean anything to you in regards to this place? I mean, or in general?
Hey, Bawu.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Kind of
Not in
a
this location, at
thick
least.
skin animal spirit thing. Kind of
I could ask
scaly
my
looking.
colleagues if they heard anything about it.
Sure. Yeah. No. It's maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow morning or something like that. That's fine. Because we found some stuff that might connect it with here, and it might help crack the mystery. We'll see. We'll find out. So, yeah, consult with your friends. Obviously, at least go. Just reintroduce yourself. I'm so bad at this. I'm so sorry. Hey, well, why don't you go ahead and just go reconvene with your friends. Welcome back. God damn it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's good to be back. And she says it as like awkwardly as you do. So yeah. Oh. And unless someone has anything to interject or do, yeah. The the group is given the larger of the two rocks towers, and they are able to find rest for the night. They are fed thanks to the not lawbearer crackers.
The
What
beacon
are yours
crackers.
again? Yeah, they're not beacon crackers. There's something else, right?
No, they're little cookies in the shape of a tower, a light
Nice.
Okay,
tower,
gotcha.
lighthouse.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
They taste like oatmeal with none of the sweet stuff in it, but
yeah. Yeah. Thanks to the oatmeal towers. There you go. So the the water supplied. 1 second, Ziggy. No. So, um, is anyone doing anything particular in the evening, or anyone need to interact with anybody?
yeah, Al will spend his last 5th level slot to resummon. Well, no, because she gets more HP when he goes higher level. If he thinks we're gonna be here a
Yeah.
couple of days, but he's gonna be using his higher level slots. He can always redo it again later.
Yes.
So he'll just use his 5th level slot to summon her now, just to have her in
Oh.
case.
Okay, so I actually have something I need to do when you do that. Then okay, give me a second.
Okay.
and something small that I want to do.
Okay, so Davis, as you're kind of taking notes of everyone and seeing that everyone's off, and you're doing a head count, Al's not there. Like you're trying to look for him,
Oh, okay.
and he's you don't see him with the group. You ask a few people, and you kind of give them a description, and Rock will send off Pebble to go look for him, and Pebble will fly around, and eventually Pebble will land on the top of y'all's tower, and Squawk, and she's walking towards the the temple, but like the roof of the temple. And believe it or not, Al had made his way up to the top of the temple. And none of you guys are there, but he is in the process of bringing Loon back.
Oh, okay. Good to know my instincts were correct.
Yes. However, and this is kind of a cinematic moment, right, where like the camera pans and everything as he is going through the processes of summoning the spell. He reaches out to Loon and says, I don't know if you're going to answer. I don't even know if you want to come back. I'm sorry. We both knew something was wrong, and I should have turned around that instant. As he completes the 5th level, you said?
Yeah, he's only got. That's the only
Yeah.
4th level or higher slot that he's got.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and mark it down,
Yep.
just so you. And it takes a moment, but then the various elements of the spell, the weave of magic begins to form, and that little moat that initiates the form of Moon emerges, swirls around Al, and eventually it begins to leave that trail, growing, taking the shape of the familiar form of Loon. And on the top, the ceiling, Loon forms fully, kind of nuzzles up to Al, gives him a boop with the nose. If somebody wants to do a animal handling, however, you can use his charisma since it's based on his spell.
Yeah, I got it. Also, I have a sound for Loon. It's that's what a fox yelling sounds like.
Oh, interesting.
Animal handling 14.
With using his charisma?
Oh, using his charisma instead of his wisdom.
Yeah.
So plus 4 on that, so 18.
18. Okay, yeah. So, Al, if you're listening to this, Corbin, Loon forgives you.
Aw.
Loon understands. So
The rest of
Loon
us don't.
nuzzles up with him.
Guess
Yeah.
he's the only one.
Yes, exactly.
You're
So-
out of the group.
Yeah. So, yeah.
That's one demerit.
I'm actually kind of glad because it's gonna be kind of weird telling him like, yeah, you don't know if Lulun hates you or not. But I did make a DC check for him. So yeah. Yeah. Al is able to release that heavy set breath, and he begins to, with Pebble as witness, begins to weep into the fur of Lun, and then sometime after he gets on Lun's back and they soar down, landing, and he approaches whatever remaining of the group is still awake at the bottom of the temple.
Well, as Ben would have walked into the tower thing, he'll kind of turn around to everybody and go, "We need talk. Got bad news." And I kind of like walk into the all slunch over, exhausted.
Sure.
All right.
I can only bring him back for the night. They're all gonna be dead tomorrow.
They'll become revenants tomorrow.
Yeah, we get to kill them all over again. Let me make sure I'm not forgetting anything on Al's side. His priorities. Yeah, okay. Sad about women. Sure, paranoid. Okay, yeah. So, if that's the case and no one has any objectives, a little time will pass. Rock will send Pebble out and just say, Pebble, I know it's not the best condition for your eyes, but if you hear or see anything, just start making a hell of a lot of noise. We need to figure out what we're going to be doing. Okay, girl? Pebble tweets. And walks up to one of the the windows of the tower and flies out. So yeah, all of you are within the tower. Loon as well. So
Nice.
um, uh, Rock will. I'm assuming he has the spell slots. Let me see.
I got his sheet open. What are you looking for?
Oh, well, I'm pretty sure you can do it ritually, so it doesn't even matter. Telepathic bond.
Let me double check.
It's ritual, but yeah.
Yeah. So
Telepathic bond is ritual.
yeah. So before you guys get into the discussions, Rock will say, "Just give me a second," or you know what this means. 10 minutes.
Uh, and here Ben was thinking, I'm going to have to talk about the story in broken common.
Oh, Beacon, you are truly testing me this day.
um. So 10 minutes will pass if no one has anything to interject. And Rock will go, testing, testing, testing.
Loud and
And
clear,
you all
bud.
hear it. Alright. I've figured we got a lot of talking, and we can talk a lot faster like this. So, while you guys talk, I'm going to figure out, the least. And he pulls out that rod. I'm gonna figure out this thing. Because this thing should be gross and icky and tarnished. But it's kind of pristine and clean. So I'm here. I'm listening. I'm also figuring stuff out. And he takes out a feather and a pearl and begins to identify what he's got.
Okay, so Ben will start with uh, the guy we killed, the champion. Do we need to secure his body before something happens to it or anything like that? Because it's still sitting out there.
I mean, maybe get it. I don't know. Get it off the temple grounds. I don't know if that's a sacrilege thing or something.
He hit the what he worships is not here.
Okay.
So I don't know if he had any items. I'm assuming he did. He was pretty powerful.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to mention that, but we have a problem. When the beacon channeled through me,
Which was
I
amazing,
saw
by
a
the way.
vision. Yes, well, I am just a conduit. She was the one that answered, and I only thought they were injured. I did not know that they had entered the unformed maze. I'm hoping that I did not cause a rift between her and the shepherd. That is not her domain. That's not her realm. And she pulled entities or beings from his realm.
I mean, we did that. We came back from it.
I understand that, but many times
Oh, but we weren't
what
supposed to be there, though. I guess it's kind of different.
but many times when mortals do things like that, it goes unseen by gods. But when divine entities interfere with other divine entities' realms, they're not always the happiest. But that's not my biggest concern right now. You remember the water that was churning and bubbling while the bodies were there? They were
Yeah.
open. They were opening a gate, and Adam, correct me if I use the incorrect word for material, to the abyss. They were
You can understand
bringing.
it as the abyss. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
They were bringing in demons or devils using the power of those poor souls to open a rift to bring them in to attack us. That's what the bubbling was. Because she intervened, she not only saved them, but closed those portals. And I kind of paused for dramatic effect.
Dave Davis is wide-eyed and just like confused, but I mean gets it, but it's just like, what the fuck does that mean?
So
Well,
I will
no,
ask.
no,
So wait, how do you know that's? I understand that. Well, I don't understand. I'm guessing the god, your god shoved this information in your head, but
I
how do you
think
know that's what they were bringing?
I
Right.
didn't have a chance to ask her because it was quickly, but
Uh,
from what I understand, because there was a link between their energy being in the unformed maze and their energy fueling these portals, I got to see both simultaneously because I was connected to them through my goddess.
Wow. I thought it was weird being connected to you guys in the brain right here. That must have been
So,
something.
and I don't know if we can do this, Adam. Can you send images through telepathic bond?
Good question.
It just says you can communicate telepathically, so.
Yeah, and like it's weird because that's one of those ones where sometimes like you can think of an image, right? You can see it, and like could you convey that during a bond? Go ahead, Ben, and give me a just give me a wisdom check. Let's see if you're able to convey some sort of imagery.
19.
Yeah, sure. It's not perfect, but you can. Which image did you want to try to
I'm
send?
going to convey what I saw with the demons or devils coming towards the portals, getting ready to come through.
Okay. Sure. So, uh, it's fuzzy. It's not the best image, right? But you guys do see, almost like there's a tear in space in front of you, and beyond that tear, you see a dozen of those slender, large horn, blood red, long lapping tongue fiends that you guys have encountered before. And they are just gnawing and gnashing and raking at this opening, trying to get through. And on the other side, you would just intuit that the other side was the bubbling and churning waters. So, best image that Ben can share. And then I need everyone that wasn't Ben to give me a wisdom saving throw.
Scars or no? Probably not. But
Um, technically,
$17.
technically it's not a condition, so no.
Which
17.
save again?
Wisdom save, please.
You're welcome, Rock. You got a 22.
Okay. Al with a 1. Okay, got it.
yeah, I rolled a 3, or no, I rolled a 2 for him. He's got a +1, but he's -2 for exhaustion. So,
Yep.
total of 1.
So we have an 18, 17, which is actually a 15 because the. Oh no, you're not exhausted. That's right.
I'm not exhausted.
23, that's good. 17 from Cielo. Al. So
Did
so far,
Cielo, did you
Al
do
failed.
your exhaustion as well?
Oh, 16.
Oh, 15. It's -2, right?
15. So minus
Oh,
2,
it's
right?
my. I thought
Yeah,
it
it's
was
minus 2.
-1.
No, minus 2. Okay.
I have one
Um,
exhaustion, not
Right.
two.
yes,
It's
just
-2 at the
minus
first
1.
level.
It's two. Oh, I thought it was okay.
No, you're good. You're good. Okay. So it sounds like only Al failed, which kind of makes sense because he had an
Spectacularly
emotional
failed.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Good
also
job, Al.
of
Gosh.
fiendish origin as
Doesn't
well, so I wonder.
Does he die?
No, a demon begins to rip its way out of his chest now. He becomes
He's
the
already
Candleman.
won. He's
True.
already
yeah,
won.
yeah. No. So Al will have a very restless night's sleep,
Oh shit.
and he will need to roll coin flip for every spell slot that he wants to recover, and hit points that he will not naturally heal at night if you guys, tend to your wounds.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know this, so you can't necessarily
Right.
meta the healing. And then for every spell slot that he wants to recover, it's a 50-50.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of rolling on Al's side. But I will say something that he did say in my notes is when you guys all gathered, he was going to do a Song of Rest
Oh, right.
to kind of help everybody.
We could do that
as
while
you guys are
Rock was casting
you're
the bond.
talking. Yeah. So just kind of dun, 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 dun. And what he will do then, because you brought up the body of Hormuz, something I completely forgot. He'll send Loon Loon down there, and Loon Loon will drag the body to the base of this temple and put it inside.
That has to be horrifying looking. This huge fox flying creature dragging this bloody corpse across. I hope none of the other guys are like, what the fuck is going on over there?
Yeah, especially since he's got some fey expressions too. But Hormuz's body is at the bottom of y'all's tower, inside. Yeah. So essentially, the image is what you guys get from Ben. They were attempting to summon things, and Al, Kara, everybody but Cielo and Ben will know what these are because you guys have fought against them down in the basement or down in the vaults during the Chandra incident.
Right.
But I saw the image. I just don't know what they are.
Yeah, like
Okay.
you can. I'm not even gonna make you roll, right? Like you can understand that they're like a common depiction of a fiend, right? You don't know anything else. I mean, they're scary. But like you do not know any means to be able to identify what they are, other than that's a fiend. Okay, yeah, that's scary.
Fiendish elves.
Yeah, you guys are on the
And
28th. You guys are gonna tick over to the 29th. So that's what I was gonna do. Sorry. Go ahead.
I just want to add that, imagine if they did this on a large scale, what they could do to cities. And I'll leave it at that.
Or maybe did to the city we were in this morning. There's water there too, right? Just saying.
Guys.
So
Guys.
grim.
Guys.
Yeah.
All right. This thing. I'm gonna change the subject because we don't need to just dwell on terribleness. Rock. So this is kind of cool. It's actually two things smashed together.
Huh? What is?
He pulls out he presents that scepter.
Oh yeah,
that
you were
he
looking
found.
at that.
This thing. Yeah. So it's kind of cool. It's there's two things that we've been that merged with this. It looks like they made it into a sort of relic. I guess they use it for ceremonies. And look, you can see, and he flips it over, and those of you that are astute would see that the sun is missing, and that the silver or the platinum end of the scepter now has like an expression of like a crescent moon on it. See, it changed. It has something to do with the time of day. It's kind of cool.
That is pretty cool.
Pretty sure that if we wait till dawn, this one will express itself. But so yeah, technically this thing is two things. It's one half interacts with the moon, so I guess dusk to dawn, and the other half interacts with dawn to dusk.
Which moon?
However, what I can understand, they need to be together or they don't work. Now, That doesn't necessarily mean that they need to be in the same object, but they need to be on the same person. So we could take them out of this technically, kind of how like we put that cube inside of Karos's flail, and the claw inside of Karos's flail, and how Al's mask imprinted it on itself on its armor. So I think it's one of those locust thingies that we've been running into. Or two of these locust thingies that we've been running into. That's interesting. Two of these locust things. So I'm going to paste what they are, and I'll give you a description. You guys can look at it. I will put it in the. I'll drop it in the menagerie channel. I'm not looking. I'm just dropping it in there. Okay, I'm out. So essentially, yeah, they're two locusts, but they have to work together. So they're. But as mentioned, you do not need to put them in the same item. They can be affixed to a rod, a wand, staff, rings, technically necklaces then if they're rings as well, and armor. And one has to do with the sun, and one has to do with the moon. The one that deals with the sun is while you are on the material plane on Materia, from dawn to dusk, your walking speed is increased by 10. Furthermore, when creatures within 30 feet of you deal damage, they must make a Constitution saving throw or be blinded until the end of your next turn. A creature that does not rely on sight is immune to this effect.
Neat.
And then the other one is of the moon, and when you are from dusk till dawn on Materia, if the item affixed has charges, increase the current and maximum number of charges equal to your proficiency bonus. Furthermore, when you hit a creature or it fails its saving throw, against you, they must make an intelligence saving throw. On a failure, they treat you as invisible until the start of your next turn. Special note, this locus is dormant if it is not used with the other locus. And other special note is if you are not on Materia or on the material plane, then you only benefit from the first bonus granted by both of the lotuses. So if for some reason you're on another plane of existence, it's your walking speed is increased by and the number of charges are increased by, rather
Gotcha.
than the other two.
No further bonus, basically.
No further bonuses. So you get half of each at the same time rather than the full suite one. So yeah, we can use the rod as is, or we can split it apart, but it needs to go to one person. And I know we probably don't want to do this, but I'm gonna go pick through the dead guy's body and see what I can find. Anybody want to join me?
Absolutely. I was already gonna go sneak out and do that myself.
Cool.
Great idea.
Right?
Remember, Al, you can talk to him too.
Oh yeah, you can. Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna stay right here. I'm tired.
I have a bookkeeping slash question. So if I wanted these loci, which I kind of do, but you know, would my boots count as armor? Could I keep the boots, attach it to that? Get the increase in
Yeah, okay.
charges?
I think so. Like, I use armor air quotes, right? They're technically a wondrous item,
Right.
but I guess it would fall under an armor category.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's fair. That's a good question. You could attach one or both. It's up to you.
Okay.
You could put one on one boot and one on the other boot, and then now you get two fancy boots, one with a moon expression and one with a sun
Yeah,
expression.
maybe.
Or something like that. But yeah, you guys can discuss.
Okay.
But I know that loot was something that you guys wanted to know, and you guys wanted to, because there's gonna be a lot more potentially,
Yeah.
to disseminate. So Rock will quickly, before you guys go down, he will put his hand on the wall. His eyes go glossed over, and he's just peering through Pebble. Okay, and he kind of shrugs it off. All right, Cielo, let's go pick ourselves a corpse. Is this grave robbing? Technically not, right? Because he's not in a grave.
They're not using it anymore.
I approve it. Go do it.
Oh,
And then I curl up in the fetal position and go to sleep.
Gotcha.
Wait, so who was going
Al
with
will.
Cielo? Rock?
Rock is gonna go do the investigations, right? Anyone
Gotcha.
else is welcome to
Okay.
join. Like Lulin dragged Horboos's body into the bottom of y'all's tower.
I imagine Al's pretty spent and Davis is definitely pretty spent, so staying in.
All right, cool.
As
All right.
as maybe morbidly curious as Al might be, he was a little unsettled at what he saw, and
Yep.
just being exhausted in general, he's gonna try and turn in. I think maybe.
I respect that very well. So, all right. So as Cielo and Rock go down, Lunlun has positioned herself curled up at the front door, very much resting, but very much ready and on guard in case someone was to come through in the tower. So she's down there. Uh, it sounds like the rest of the menagerie. Karos, are you doing anything in particular? Are you resting? Are you joining in the investigations? Or what would you like to
I
do, buddy?
think he would probably say something to the effect of like, let me know if you need me. Otherwise,
Okay.
he would probably be on top of the tower doing searching with goggles and such.
Nice.
Nice. Okay. Go ahead, just for that then. Go ahead and give me a perception check. You do have night vision. Um, there is the moon out. It's fairly well lit, so yeah, you can just treat it as a normal, so you can do your at advantage because of your goggles.
Okay.
Ba-ba-ba-bam.
Oh,
So
natural, yeah,
30.
30 total. Okay. Um,
Just for the last roll of the day, you're like, give me my Nirvana number, please.
One more 5.
one more Nirvana number, yeah. Um, the immediate area is very quiet and very still. You do see, with that ridiculous perception, even through the dark, you see numerous bats swooping through the sky and, catching various insects. Um, you look over and you see the other tower, um, which has some magical lanterns keeping it not like lit bright, but so you can see it and see the perimeter around it. No one's leaving or approaching it. Uh, you get the sense that everyone there has pretty much already uh, found rest. You're scanning over the area and you look through the temple and it's empty minus those two statues. Uh, you can hear and see, and you can even feel the little, spritzing of the waterfall below the temple. You look around and you don't see anyone encroaching, and I can say that with a severe degree of confidence. Like throughout your watch, it's no one from the pack is out there. You do see on a regular interval, you see Pebble as she's flying around, just kind of keeping a watch. And she notices you out there, and she comes and lands on your shoulder, and flies off. And she kind of comes in and checks in throughout your extended watch period. But yeah, with a natural 20, 30 total perception, or I should say, with a Nirvana
The
30.
Nirvana 20.
Yeah.
A faded
Uh,
20.
yep. You are confident that there's nothing out there that poses a threat. I'm trying to think if there's any benefit I can give you.
If you hit a nat
Um,
20 on a skill check, can you smite the skill check?
uh, so as written, no, right? Um, natural ones and natural 20s as written only apply to attack rolls.
Yep.
Not ability checks, not saving throws. But it's fun to use older rules and give like little perks,
But
and I
in
don't mind.
Baldur's Gate. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate up at level 12. That's because 7th level spells would break the game. No other reason. At least I think no other reason.
No, they wanted to go ahead and stop it at 12. That way, whenever they go to the other levels, you have to buy it all over again.
Even though they've explicitly said that they want to give you everything. So, I'm gonna think if there's anything else, Kyle, to add to that, because your little like natural 20 or your Nirvana perk. So just let me think about it while you, and then I'll come back to you because I want to give you
Sure.
something. But so Cielo and Rock.
Yes.
Yeah, there's not much of a head left. Um, kind of more just like mushy, bad, processed ground beef. But anyways,
Gross.
yeah. So hey, you're the guys that did that to this poor, poor soul. Um, so before you lays Hormuz the Ensorceralites, uh, he is garbed in dark robes, um, with some finer finishings towards the ends and towards the rims. Heavy wrappings around his neck, almost like multi-layered scarves. Uh, Most notably, his face is his mouth, his nose is covered by this elaborate um, guard. Uh, he does not appear, and I'll let you do your investigation check to go through his body. He does not appear to be really wielding any weapons, but you both so can give me investigation checks to once over the body, unless if there's something else you guys are gonna do. And whoever's running rock, I give you the opportunity to think what you're doing.
Okay, give me a second. Unless somebody else wanted to run rock.
Nope, it's you.
Okay.
I got a 27.
What are we doing? Investigation, you said?
Unless if you have something
Yeah.
else that you want to do. Yeah.
32.
Wow.
That's
I
pretty
rolled an
nice.
18 plus 14.
Yeah. Okay. So Rock is going to Rock. Like Cielo, you're going through and like kind of going through his pockets and kind of moving through his his clothing. Rock is just gonna turn to you. He's like, "Can I borrow your? I borrow a blade, a knife,
Yeah,
a
of
dagger."
course. I
Sweet.
just
And he
hand
gets
him
it.
a dagger real quick.
Yeah, he gets it. Looks at him. Mark off a first level spell slot for me. He's gonna detect magic,
Will do.
and then he's gonna look. He's like, okay, and he's gonna find where there's nothing magic. And he's just gonna straight up just like cut through his clothing, and he's just gonna start ripping stuff off of him. Like, he's going through like not butchering the body, but he's butchering the equipment kind of thing. And he's like just peeling him off, and sooner or later you have a mostly naked Harmoose. And he's got two piles. Like, that says magic. That says no. That's
Oh,
shit.
you've
You
done
can go
this
through
before,
that.
huh?
You know what? Yeah, but only like in the last year or so. Done it a lot though. Okay. Um. So
You
something
learn
about
from a guy named Marb.
Yeah, shit, no kidding.
yeah. He'll actually go on his story. He's like, so I learned from a guy. Kind of reminds me of you, and that like he was really good at like traversing and making us. We always had confidence when we were going with him because he seemed to like always be able to find the best path, and um, that guy could send an arrowhead through through the center of a coin, probably about 600 feet away. Kind of
You
like
sure
you.
it wasn't me?
I'm fairly certain he was a kenku. He was black feathered. He used to give us feathers as
Oh.
tokens for favors.
You know, there's magic that can do kind of stuff like that. I feel like
Yeah,
I remember you guys now all of a sudden. That's weird.
interesting.
I'm totally kidding. It wasn't me.
Okay, I was gonna say because if we've met, I'm sorry I don't remember you.
I
um,
meant I was the Kinku. Never mind. Joke's over.
no,
If I have
he's
to
alive.
explain it, it ruins the joke. What'd you
No,
find anyway?
yeah. But real quick, just to make sure, he's alive. He's just down in Green Post. So maybe someday you'll
Oh,
get to meet him. Okay. You guys, maybe we can have an archery contest and we can see
they
who can.
sound very nice.
He liked to torture people with little hammers and
Yeah,
rock.
very nice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
That's
okay.
if
Anyways,
they
what
were
I found.
lucky.
That's true. Nico, come back. We miss you. Um. So
I'm thinking him traumatizing people with spooky magic was worse.
Oh shit.
that
Cletus?
was
Cletus is forever
Cletus.
changed. Although he's also immune to spooky magic for like another
He's
2 years.
no, I think it was 18 years, right, or something like that. It's
I thought it was only like
warded.
2 or 3 years.
Oh,
That's
maybe.
18
Yeah, yeah.
months, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. But he was warded from spooky, scary stuff, and especially magic, spiders, or something like that. It was
Oh no, it was
crazy.
it was like 3 generations or something like that, wasn't it?
Maybe that's what it was. Yeah, yeah. I don't remember. It was just hilarious. We need to find that clip. So, he's like, yeah, this guy definitely had quite a lot on him. It's gonna take me a little bit of time to go through it and understand it all, and that's why I got the marble and pearl and the feather. But I can fast play this. So, um, throughout that time, he will uh take off various he took off various pieces of clothing, and what's in the magic pile is there is a necklace. Sorry, not a necklace. There's a ring, which is that looks like a gilded feather, and it's in the shape of a ring, and so like the end of the feather meets the tip of the feather, and it's in this like brass color. Um, that he would need to take out of him, which is a bit later. Um, the the dark hooded robe that he's wearing, that has like this frayed ends, though they're very nice, but there's also like these frayed ends to it. Um, he will identify that, and then he will yank off the mouth guard. And he'll say, "This thing has a lot of magic in it, so I will get to that last because I don't. That's gonna take some time." And just to kind of fast play it, I'll say, unless if you have anything to interact with Cielo, um, the ring is identified as a locus of aerial prowess, and I will share all this into that. Essentially, it's a feather that can be affixed to a ring or a necklace, and sorry, someone pinged something. Okay, got it. And if the attuned creature has a flying speed, they can use their bonus action to move using their fly speed. Additionally, if the ability to fly is lost, they fall as if under the feather fall spell for 1 minute. So this is DM telling you guys, if Karos didn't grapple him, he would have just fucking flown away.
Nice.
He couldn't fly. So that's one thing. The next thing, which
Yeah, and if worms had machine guns, birds wouldn't fuck with them.
yeah, true. The next thing, and you'll see he's gonna take the knife, Karos, Cielo, and he's going to ask you to help him, and he's gonna say, so I need, and he's just gonna like cut like the majority of the cloak. He's just gonna like cut out like the centerpiece of it, and there's gonna be this part where he says, he drags a knife and see like I can't cut through this part, and then he said that's the magic bit, and with some time he's gonna ask you for help, and if you could give me a sleight of hand check
Yeah.
just to see how nimble you are and how easy it is to remove this.
Dirty 20.
Yeah, it's plenty good, and you're able to get your
Actually, that's
fingers
sleight of hand, so it'd be 25.
25, even better. So with ease and with quick, you basically like shove rock out of the way and say, "I got this," and you start like almost like prying and like cutting the natural threads off from this other almost unworldly thread that is woven into his cloak. This fuzzy black thread is nearly impossible to cut. It is very difficult to distinguish the shape of it, and where it's frayed and solid and well intact, this thread can be magically merged with a set of armor, a mantle, or a cloak, or something similar. Like, if you guys think of anything. While the attuned creature has temporary hit points, treat them as if they are similar to the armor of Agatha's spell if they are removed. The damage dealt in this way is necrotic. You give someone temporary hit points. If they lose the temporary hit points from a melee attack, that melee attacker takes necrotic damage equal to the total of the temporary hit points. So it's not the spell, Armor of Agathis, but it treats temporary hit points as if they are. So if Davis were to use Tip the Scales, for example, that's something you guys could do. And the next thing, and this is the doozy. So he takes the mouth guard and he orientates it, looks at it, and kind of, you know what? He's gonna conjure, because I think he's got spell slots. He's gonna conjure, create, destroy water. He's gonna create water and just clean it off because it's disgusting. All the blood and spittle on it. Ugh. All right. And this is going to be a combo piece. So the base item itself is a reskinned necklace of adaptation. Rather than being a necklace, it's a mouthguard of adaptation. While wearing this mouthguard, you can breathe normally in any environment, and you have advantage on saving throws against harmful gases and vapors, such as cloud kill and stinking cloud effects, inhaling poison, and the breath weapon of some dragons. So, but he will also say, well, there's also 2 loci associated with it. This loci was previously in the possession of Harmusti and Sorcererlight of the Fallen Queen. It was affixed to his face cover. Yada yada blah blah blah. The effect of the Hush Stone. When the attuned casts a spell, they can spend 1 charge to cast the spell without any verbal or somatic components. That's how he did the subtle spellcast. You have a number of charges equal to your proficiency bonus, regaining all expended charges at dawn. And the other one that he pulls out from the same mouthguard is the locust known as Utterance. And I need to sneeze. 1 second. Utterance. The attuned creature cannot have their voice silenced, as their voice pierces effects such as the silence spell, making it possible for them to cast while under such an effect. Additionally, it is impossible for others to read their lips when speaking. Lastly, they are able to cast Thaumaturgy as a bonus action, but only to increase the volume of their voice. So, and then as he's wrapping up, something you'll notice with your keen eyes, it's not very difficult to notice, but you'll notice that Hormus has various markings and like tattoos and other types of symbology upon his skin. And something interesting that was glossed over initially, just because there was the focus on the equipment itself, is that essentially where his sternum is, he has almost like a glass shard embedded in his chest. Anything you want to do, Cielo?
Yeah, I definitely want to pry it out.
Cool.
I'm
Go
gonna take
ahead.
my other dagger because I have 2.
Yes. All right. Do you care about the integrity of the body, or are you just trying to get the thing out?
No, just trying to get
Okay.
the thing out.
All right. So you don't have to give me a medicine check. You can just give me a dexterity. You can give me a dexterity sleight of hand. Which I
Sleight
don't
of
think
hand
you can
check.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think you can fail, but just for fun.
25 again because it
Yeah,
was not
easy. Yeah. So you just kind of see it, and Rock will, you point it out, and Rock will be like, yeah, that's definitely one of the other things. You get that out. And as you do, you kind of go and you kind of cut around it, pluck it out. It's a carefully shaped shard of glass, but you can tell that it's the way that it was made, the way that it was forged and cast is definitely something different. It's not like common glass. It's more like a crystalline structure, a crystalline glass, and he will identify it as well. Take some time, and this is probably Harmus's, maybe even the source of his title. So this is an ensorcelled cascade. Very powerful effect. It's also a locust. The first time the attuned casts a spell using each spell slot of 1st through 5th level, roll a d6. Based on the total rarity of the item, so you can affix more loci things to make them more rare, and we've kind of created our own little table: uncommon, rare, very rare, exceptional, and peerless. I could take a break soon. Okay, I'll fix that in a second. Okay, I'll fix it in a second. But anyways, so based on the rarity of the item, you regain a spell slot used. Each level of the spell slot can only benefit from this once per long rest. So it's a way to cast a 3rd level spell for the first time. Roll a die, and if you happen to hit the number, you don't use that spell slot.
That number or above, or just that number period?
Yeah, sorry, yeah. So it's like it starts as a 6 on a d6, and the best you can get is a 4+ on a d6. So a lot of magic-orientated items because he was a spellcaster.
Emphasis on
And I will.
was.
Yeah, key thing was. So I will put links on all these real quick. Let me grab the collection. Make sure I didn't forget anything. Necklace of Adaptation, Utterance, Hushstone, Fortuitive Threads, and Sorcerer Cascade, and Aerial Prowess. Yeah, okay, cool. Those are all of his items. So, where is it? Materia, no, Menagerie. I'm not looking, I'm pasting, I'm leaving. Bye. Okay, cool. So, there you guys have it. So, beyond that, there will be various spell components, which the spellcasters can use to just, add to their component pouches and just make sure that they have materials kind of naturally restocking. But yeah, you guys can figure out what you guys want to do with said loot. But I guess, Cielo, is there anything else that's on your mind while you're down here with Rock, or you happy with what you guys have found?
No, that's okay. I was going to I'm not sure the exact bodies that we just forked this from.
It's literally
But
just purposes. It's just the Ensorcerer Light guy, the main bad guy.
got you. So I was gonna go over here to this guy and kind of the stragglers that kind of died along the edge of the water. I was gonna like sift through them if there was just any like anything. I don't know.
Yeah, you can. There's nothing stopping you from doing such an action.
If there was nothing on them, I kind of just wanted to kick their bodies into the water and see what happened.
Sure. What's the lowest investigation you can do? Is it 90? It's a 25?
95.
23.
23. Okay. Yeah, you're not gonna find anything hidden on them. There's your what you would consider, I guess, like your standard equipments, right? They have some.
Oh, nice dagger.
Yeah. So some of them, like
Ooh,
the degree of
boots.
equipment that they have, the degree of the equipment that they have varies from individual to individual. There doesn't seem to be a standard uniform or standard equipment. They're not the most I guess you would say organized group in that terms. But many of them have various weaponries ranging from something that you would consider like crude to some pretty nice equipment that they've seemingly taken off of individuals. For the sake of it, because you're going to take your time and go through, go ahead and roll me an investigation check. If the DC is going to be very high, but I might add something to the loot pool.
Well, I got a natural 20 for a
Okay.
33.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So it will take some time. It will probably take you the better portion of the first half of the evening, because there are actually, no, how many bodies were there? There was only 2 bodies, right? The one,
I
2.
Really? Yeah.
think
Yeah.
so. I definitely this guy. I just don't remember which other corpse it was.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So it's not gonna take you that long. Sorry, I forgot because you guys actually didn't fight anybody. You ran. You got them to run away. You take your time and you're able to kind of go through and pick through the bodies. And it's kind of disappointing. On this individual, you don't find anything. You find a simple like wand, which is like just meant for a focus. It doesn't seem to be doing anything special. You do your way of trying to investigate it, understand it, and you're like, simple standard wand. That doesn't have any additional things associated with it. And you're just kind of scouting out the areas and investigating the area where they had like camped out or where they had laid this ambush. And what you'll find is as you're kind of returning back to the group, or to which are likely all asleep at this point because you spent some time out there, but along the path back, you see that there is a blade that kind of glistens in the moonlight, and as you approach it, it is a hand axe that had fallen or seemingly maybe dropped by someone fleeing. And when you look at it, it looks very well kept, very well maintained. It doesn't seem to have any nicks or scratches or anything on it. And you, being a pilferer of objects, and understand that most objects find wear and tear. Looking at this one and seeing that it's in really good condition, kind of makes your whiskers twitch a little bit, and it's a sign that it's likely a magical item. Without having to go through the whole thing, you basically found a hand axe that has a locus on it that gives it a +1 feature. So you now have a simple +1 locus that you can add to any weapon to increase its proficiency.
Ooh.
Or you can keep it as a hand axe as well if you wanted to. So you have a hand axe +1. But you can
Or I could augment like a thing.
Yes, or you can take that locus out of the axe and put it into another weapon, and make that weapon a +1. Because you rolled a natural 20 and you.
Sweet.
Sorry. What is that? I think that's 2 sets of items now that you found that I didn't plan on, but I was like, damn it. Investigation check. So yeah, you can add that to your fire red potion, or whatever, the liquid fire potion.
Does it take time to augment?
Yeah, so the process is
10 minutes, right?
Yeah, you kind of remove it, and then you can just add it. I will say. And
so I want to do something stupid.
Okay.
Not that stupid, but stupid enough for a laugh. But I totally want to do this. I'm gonna spend 10 minutes before I walk back, and I'm gonna if I can understand how that works,
Okay.
I'm gonna attach it to my cloak of billowing, just for the time being.
Okay, it will not have impart any benefits, but you can make your cloak of billowing a little bit more magical for now.
But it's a cloak of billowing +1.
Sure, I'll allow it because it doesn't do anything, but mechanically speaking, it specifically has
now
to be
it billows and it glows.
Fine. I'll allow that. That's cool. And on that note, if you guys don't mind, let's go ahead and take a break. Just because I'm so let's be back
35.
at 35. 35 sounds good. Is that good for everybody?
Yep.
And we'll start the morning, so just be ready to do a lot of rolls, especially for Al.